He didn't expect to find a hero that day, not in a dusty corner of a rundown shelter, not for just $10, and certainly not in the shape of a trembling, broken German shepherd. Officer Mark Hayes had seen the worst life could throw at people, the kind of things that left invisible scars on his soul, and yet here he was, haunted by memories that didn't fade with time. PTSD had been his unwelcome companion for years, and every siren, every scream, every flash of chaos pulled him back into the nightmares he wished he could forget. He walked past the rows of dogs, hearing nothing but the soft shuffle of paws and the occasional whine. That's when he saw him, black and tan fur-matted, eyes dull yet watching him intently, a dog that everyone had labeled as untrainable, broken, and beyond hope. For a fleeting moment, Mark felt a strange connection, as if the dog understood the kind of pain that words couldn't describe. He didn't know why he picked him up for $10, why he took a chance on something everyone else had given up on. But maybe he saw himself in that dog. He named him Titan, and from the first night, it was clear that this wasn't going to be easy. Titan flinched at loud noises, growled at shadows, and cowered at the touch of hands that were supposed to be gentle. Mark knew that this dog had been through hell, just like he had, and he also knew that healing would take patience, trust, and a willingness to face their fears together at first. The progress was painfully slow. Titan would bolt at the sound of a car horn, retreating to corners of the apartment like he was trying to disappear from the world. Mark, too, would startle at any sudden movement, his fingers trembling around the leash, his heart racing in a rhythm he couldn't control. But every night, as he sat with Titan on the floor, quietly speaking in soft tones, a fragile bond began to form. They were two broken souls learning how to trust again. The neighbors sometimes glanced curiously, wondering why a grown man spent hours on the floor with a dog that barked at shadows. But Mark didn't care. Every small sign of progress, a wagging tail, a relaxed sigh, felt like a victory against the darkness they both carried. Weeks turned into months, and slowly, Titan began to change. The trembling eased, the growls softened, and there were days when Mark could take him to the park and watch him run without fear. But healing isn't linear. One evening, a fire truck screamed down the street, and both Mark and Titan froze. Mark's chest tightened, his palms sweaty, and Titan hid under the table, shivering violently. It was a moment that could have broken them both. But instead, Mark knelt beside Titan, whispered reassurances, and stayed until the panic ebbed. That night, he realized something profound. Healing didn't mean never being afraid again. It meant facing the fear together, standing side by side, and refusing to let it control their lives. As Titan's confidence grew, so did Mark's. The officer who once flinched at every loud noise found himself laughing at small joys, walking down the street without looking over his shoulder, and even sleeping through the night more often. Titan had become his anchor, a companion who mirrored his struggles, but also his triumphs. Together, they began volunteering at local PTSD support groups, with Titan offering calm to veterans who didn't believe they could ever feel safe again. Watching others smile, watching eyes light up when Titan nuzzled them, Mark realized that the little dog he bought for $10 had given him something priceless: hope, purpose, and the courage to keep going. The final transformation wasn't loud or flashy. It was quiet, unassuming, and yet shocking in its depth. A broken dog and a war-weary officer had healed each other in ways no one expected. Titan now wore a vest marked PTSD support dog, and every time he wagged his tail at someone struggling with trauma, Mark felt a swell of pride. He knew the journey would never be over, but he also knew that no matter how dark the world seemed, even the smallest act of faith, even a $10 gamble on hope, could change everything. If there's one thing Mark wants everyone to take away from their story, it's this: healing isn't about being perfect, it's about taking the first step, finding the courage to trust, and never underestimating the power of love, patience, and persistence. A broken heart, a wounded soul, or even a dog everyone else gave up on. None of it defines your limits. Sometimes the quietest, seemingly smallest choices can lead to the most extraordinary transformations. So, if you felt even a flicker of hope watching Mark and Titan's journey, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because there are more stories like theirs waiting to inspire you. Remember, miracles don't always come roaring. They sometimes arrive on four paws, in a soft whine, and in the quiet bond between two souls who refuse to give up.